Ladies and gentlemen, there is an unseen force at work in human attraction, something beyond physical beauty, beyond status, beyond words. It is the pull of energy, the magnetism of presence. You've seen it before. A woman walks into a room and men turn their heads, not because she's the most traditionally attractive, but because she carries herself like a force of nature. Men are not moved by logic when it comes to love. They are moved by an invisible current, one that compels them to risk, to pursue, to protect, to give their all. But what activates this response in a man? It is not desperation, it is not manipulation, it is not mere affection. It is you, fully embodied, fully present, and fully aware of your worth. A man will cross oceans, fight battles, and defy the odds for a woman who awakens something deep within him. And this awakening comes from one thing: your energy. When a woman understands the power of her presence, she shifts the entire dynamic of a relationship. She is no longer seeking validation, she is the source of it. She does not chase, she attracts. She does not beg, she invites. And because of this, a man feels an almost primal need to step forward, to prove his devotion, to give more than he ever thought possible. But here's where most get it wrong. A woman who abandons herself to please a man will never inspire him to risk anything. It is the woman who holds her own ground, who moves with grace yet with boundaries, who commands loyalty without demanding it. This is the woman who captivates. Men crave a challenge, not in the form of games, but in the form of a woman who knows her worth so deeply that she becomes a standard, not an option. They yearn for emotional safety, a place where they can drop their armor, where they are not judged for their weaknesses, but encouraged for their strength. And most of all, they will give everything to the woman who does not need them to complete her, but instead invites them to elevate together. This is the secret. This is the power. This is the moment where attraction transforms into devotion. So, be the woman who moves with certainty. Be the woman who radiates presence. Be the woman who ignites the fire of purpose in a man's heart. The power of feminine energy is something beyond words. It's a force, a presence, a feeling that lingers long after a woman has left the room. It is not about beauty in the conventional sense. It is about the way she carries herself, the way she speaks, the way she listens, the way she simply is. It's the quiet confidence in her step, the ease with which she moves through life, the undeniable sense that she doesn't need to prove her worth. She knows it. Men are naturally drawn to this energy because it represents something they cannot create within themselves. Masculine energy is focused, structured, goal-oriented. It builds, it protects, it seeks to conquer. Feminine energy, on the other hand, is fluid, intuitive, deeply connected to the present moment. It doesn't chase, it attracts. It doesn't demand, it inspires. It doesn't force, it allows. And in that allowance, a man finds something he never knew he was missing. A reason to stay, a reason to fight, a reason to risk everything. There is an undeniable shift that happens when a woman taps into this energy. She becomes magnetic, not because she is trying to be, but because she is completely, unapologetically herself. She moves with grace, yet she is strong. She nurtures, yet she does not bend beyond her limits. She gives love, yet she remains whole within herself. This kind of woman does not need to chase a man's attention because her very essence commands it. She does not need to convince him of her worth because her energy already communicates it. Men don't fall for women who shrink themselves to be accepted. They don't risk everything for women who overextend, overgive, or oversacrifice. They fall for the woman who stands in her power, the woman who understands that her presence alone is valuable, the woman who radiates a sense of mystery, a depth that keeps him coming back a presence that makes him feel more alive. A woman who embodies her feminine energy is not passive. She is powerful in a way that doesn't need to be loud. She allows space for a man to step into his strength, yet she never dims her own light. She is the calm in his storm, the inspiration behind his ambition, the sanctuary he longs for when the world becomes too heavy. This is why a man will risk everything, not for a woman who needs him, but for a woman who awakens something in him. Feminine energy is not just an aesthetic, not just softness, not just beauty. It is a presence, a force, a way of being that draws in everything meant for her. Authenticity is one of the most powerful forces in human connection. It cannot be faked, manufactured, or imitated because it is the rawest expression of who someone truly is. When a woman fully embraces her authentic self, she becomes magnetic, not just to men, but to opportunities, experiences, and relationships that align with her true essence. There is something undeniably captivating about a woman who does not conform, does not play a role, and does not seek external approval to validate her existence. She is simply herself, and that is enough. Men, whether they realize it or not, are deeply drawn to authenticity because it offers them something rare. Truth in a world full of facades. So many people spend their lives wearing masks, saying what they think others want to hear, molding themselves to fit into an image of desirability. But when a woman strips all of that away and simply exists in her natural state, unfiltered, real, present, she creates a different kind of attraction. This is not the attraction based on fleeting excitement. This is the attraction that ignites something deeper, something lasting. Authenticity is powerful because it signals confidence. A woman who is truly herself does not second-guess her worth, does not adjust her personality to fit the moment, and does not apologize for the space she takes up in the world. She speaks her truth with clarity and grace. She laughs without self-consciousness. She expresses her opinions without fear of rejection, and in doing so, she gives a man permission to do the same. The most magnetic people are not those who try the hardest to be liked, but those who are at peace with who they are. When a woman is comfortable in her own skin, she exudes an effortless kind of allure. She does not chase attention because she naturally commands it. She does not need constant validation because she is already secure in her value. And this is precisely why a man will risk everything for her, because he knows that what she offers is rare. There is no greater freedom than being truly known and accepted, and there is no greater love than the kind built on that foundation. A man may be momentarily entertained by the thrill of the chase or the allure of perfection, but what keeps him coming back, what makes him stay, is the woman who is real, the woman who is unshakable in her sense of self. Authenticity is not about perfection. It is about truth. And a man will always be drawn to the woman who offers him something genuine in a world full of illusions. Men are wired for challenge. It is in their nature to pursue, to strive, to earn. The moment something comes too easily, without effort or investment, it loses value. This is not about playing games or being manipulative. It is about understanding a fundamental truth of human nature. What is readily available is rarely appreciated, but what is earned is deeply valued. A woman who embodies challenge and intrigue is not difficult for the sake of being difficult. She is not withholding affection to test a man's patience. Instead, she is simply a woman with depth. A woman whose presence requires a man to show up fully. She does not hand over her energy to just anyone. She does not give herself away without discernment. And because of that, a man instinctively knows that if he wants to be in her world, he has to bring his best self forward. Intrigue is what keeps a man thinking about her long after she has left the room. It is the quality of unpredictability, the feeling that there is always more to discover. A woman who is intriguing does not reveal everything at once. She allows things to unfold naturally. She surprises, she captivates, she keeps him wondering in the best way possible. This does not mean being evasive or distant. It means having layers, having stories, having an inner world that is rich and dynamic. When a woman makes a man work for her attention, not in a way that feels exhausting, but in a way that makes him feel motivated, she awakens something powerful within him. He does not just see her as someone he can have. He sees her as someone he must rise to meet. And that, more than anything, keeps him invested. The key is balance. A woman who is too elusive may push a man away, while a woman who is too available may lose his interest. The sweet spot is in maintaining a sense of mystery while also being warm and open. It is in knowing when to engage and when to pull back. It is in setting a standard that makes a man realize he cannot just show up halfway. He must be fully present, fully invested, fully committed. Men will always pursue what they feel is worth pursuing. A woman who values herself, who moves through life with confidence and purpose, who is selective in who she allows into her space. That is a woman who keeps a man endlessly intrigued. He does not just want to be around her, he wants to earn his place in her life. And when a man feels that, he will not just stay, he will risk everything to keep her. A man who is deeply connected to his vision and purpose moves through life with intention. He is not just looking for temporary pleasure or surface-level distractions. He is seeking meaning, a mission, something greater than himself. And when a woman aligns with that mission, rather than pulling him away from it, she becomes irreplaceable. This is not about sacrificing her own dreams to fit into his world. It is about understanding that a man is most devoted when he feels that a woman sees him not just for who he is today, but for who he is becoming. When she believes in his potential, when she supports his growth, when she encourages his pursuit of something greater, she becomes more than just a romantic partner. She becomes a force in his life. A man will risk everything for the woman who stands beside him, not as an obstacle, but as a catalyst for his evolution. But here's the secret: this only works when a woman also has her own vision and purpose. A woman who is completely dependent on a man for direction, who lacks her own drive and ambition, does not inspire devotion. She becomes another responsibility. On the other hand, a woman who is deeply rooted in her own purpose, who walks her own path with confidence, creates a dynamic where both individuals elevate each other. She is not just following his journey, she is creating her own. And in that, they find something truly rare, a partnership built on growth, passion, and aligned vision. A man who is driven, who has something meaningful to work toward, will not be distracted by someone who pulls him off course. But he will move mountains for a woman who understands his mission and fuels his fire rather than extinguishing it. She does not demand that he choose between love and purpose. She becomes part of the reason he fights harder. This is why the most powerful relationships are built on something deeper than attraction or chemistry. They are built on shared vision. A man will give his heart fully, risk everything, and commit without hesitation when he sees that the woman beside him is not just another chapter in his life, but a co-author of his legacy. A woman who knows her worth moves differently. She does not beg for attention, does not settle for half-hearted love, and does not tolerate anything less than what she deserves. She is not arrogant, nor does she operate from ego. Her confidence is quiet but unshakable. She knows that her presence is valuable, her love is rare, and her energy is a privilege, not something to be taken for granted. And because of that, men respect her, admire her, and most importantly, remain loyal to her. Loyalty is not something a woman has to demand. It is something she commands through her presence, her boundaries, and the way she carries herself. A man instinctively knows when he is dealing with a woman of high value. She does not chase, she does not overextend herself for a man who is unsure, and she does not waste her energy proving her worth. She embodies it, she radiates it, and in doing so, she creates an environment where only those who genuinely appreciate her will remain. Men are naturally drawn to a woman who respects herself. They may be entertained by temporary distractions, but when it comes to commitment, they gravitate toward the woman who holds herself to a higher standard. Why? Because deep down, men want to feel like they earn something meaningful. If a woman gives too much too soon, without requiring effort, he may enjoy the convenience but not feel the depth of connection. However, when a woman knows her value and expects to be treated accordingly, a man instinctively steps up. He recognizes that if he does not give his best, he risks losing something extraordinary. This is why boundaries are essential. A woman who knows her worth does not tolerate inconsistency, disrespect, or lukewarm effort. She does not lower her standards out of fear of being alone. Instead, she operates from a place of abundance, knowing that the right person will match her energy without hesitation. She does not fear walking away from what does not serve her, and because of that, the right man will work to keep her. A woman's worth is not determined by external validation, it is an internal knowing. And when a woman fully embraces this, she shifts the dynamic in every relationship. She becomes the woman a man is afraid to lose, not because she plays games, but because her presence alone inspires loyalty, respect, and devotion. Men will risk everything for you if you do this. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a secret to unlocking a man's deepest devotion, one that has nothing to do with looks, wealth, or manipulation. It is something unseen yet deeply felt, something that stirs a man's soul and compels him to go beyond his limits. Men will risk everything for a woman who understands her power. Not power in the traditional sense, but the quiet, undeniable force of who she is. A woman who embodies her feminine energy, who moves with confidence and grace, who does not chase but instead attracts. This is the woman who holds a man's heart in ways he cannot explain. It is the woman who is unapologetically authentic that keeps him invested. When she is fully herself, without masks, without pretenses, she creates a space where a man can put down his own armor. She does not try to be someone she is not, nor does she seek approval. And because of that, he sees her as irreplaceable. But mystery plays a role as well. A man is wired for pursuit, for the challenge of something worth having. A woman who has depth, who carries an air of intrigue, who does not reveal everything all at once, she awakens something primal in him. He does not just want her, he feels compelled to earn his place in her world. Yet even the strongest man craves something deeper than attraction. He craves emotional safety. The world expects him to be unshakable, but when he finds a woman who makes him feel understood, accepted, and safe, he lets down his walls. She becomes his refuge, his sanctuary, and for that, he will do anything to protect and cherish her. But a man also needs a purpose. He is driven by vision, by ambition, by the desire to build something meaningful. And the woman who fuels that purpose rather than distracting him from it, that woman becomes his greatest inspiration. She is not a burden to his journey. She is part of the reason he fights harder. And above all, the woman who truly commands loyalty is the one who knows her worth. She does not tolerate half-hearted love. She does not settle. And she does not need a man. She chooses one. And that choice, that unshakable confidence, makes a man realize that she is a woman he cannot afford to lose. So, if you want a man to risk everything for you, the answer is simple. Become the woman he cannot ignore, not by chasing, not by forcing, but by standing in the fullness of who you are. A woman who radiates self-assurance, who moves with purpose, who loves with depth, but never at the cost of herself. That is the woman who owns the heart of a man, not just for a moment, but for a lifetime.